You are going to die. You don't know when. You don't get to know when. And the only question that matters is whether the time you had left got used or whether it got waited through. So stop waiting, stop planning, stop hiding, stop dressing up your avoidance as strategy. You have today, that's it. That's all any of us ever have. Do one thing, today, the one you've been avoiding. I'm starting this video this way because I think we need to stop dancing around it. Every video in this space wants to be polite about it. They talk about goals and habits and morning routines, and they leave out the part that actually matters, which is that the clock started the day you were born and it hasn't stopped once. It's ticking right now while you watch this, and it will keep ticking when you close the tab, and it doesn't care whether you use the time well or not. And I want you to actually sit with something for a second. Think about how fast this year has gone. Think about how fast the last 5 years went. Remember when you were a kid and the summer felt like a whole lifetime? And now a summer goes by and you barely noticed it happened. That's not a feeling, that's the actual math of your life getting shorter. Every year feels faster than the last one because every year is a smaller percentage of the total you've lived. And that's only going to accelerate. Now let me ask you something. At the start of this year, you told yourself you were gonna do something. You know what it was. I don't need to guess. You had a thing. Maybe it was a body. Maybe it was a skill. Maybe it was a business, a relationship, a channel, a decision you were finally going to make. You pictured yourself at the end of the year having done it, and here you are. Where is it? What happened to it? Because if you're honest, the answer is probably that nothing happened to it. This is where I want to stop being gentle, because gentle doesn't help anybody. You're not lazy. You work hard on plenty of stuff that doesn't matter. You can grind for hours on things that aren't moving you anywhere. That's not a discipline problem. You're not lazy. You're hiding, and you've gotten good at it. You've gotten so good at it that you don't even notice you're doing it anymore. You call it being busy. You call it waiting for the right time. You call it not knowing where to start. You call it anything except what it actually is, which is fear. I'll tell you something I haven't really admitted out loud. This channel, the one you're watching right now, I put off starting it for years. Not weeks, not months, years. I had the idea. I had things I wanted to say, and every single time I thought about actually starting, my brain handed me a different excuse. What are my friends gonna think if they find it? What are people gonna say about me? I'll do it next week, I'll do it next month, I'll do it next year. And while I was telling myself all of that, I was watching other people start their channels. And one day I got sick enough of my own excuses that I just said screw it and began anyway. That's the only reason this video exists. Not because I figured it out, not because I got ready, because I stopped waiting. Here's what I want you to really understand. Nobody grows old wishing they'd waited longer. Nobody gets to the end of their life and thinks, thank God I spent another 6 months thinking about it. Everybody who regrets something regrets not starting. There isn't a single person in a nursing home somewhere wishing they'd been more cautious. They're all wishing they'd moved. They're all wishing they'd been braver. They're all wishing they'd done the thing while they still had the body and the energy and the time. And you have all three of those right now. You have all three of those today, and you're still waiting. Waiting for what? That's what I want you to actually answer. Waiting for what? For the perfect moment. The perfect moment is a story you tell yourself to avoid starting. It does not exist. It has never existed. Nobody who's ever done anything worth doing waited for it because they knew it wasn't coming. Waiting to feel ready, you are never going to feel ready. Readiness is what you feel after you start, not before. Waiting to know what you're doing, you learn what you're doing by doing it. That's how every single skill, every single business, every single body has ever been built. Not by people who figured it out and then started, by people who started and then figured it out. So here's what you actually have to do, and it's so simple that your brain is going to reject it. You have to do one thing today, not a plan, not a strategy, not a 30-day reset. One thing, one action. one move toward the thing you've been hiding from. Open the document, write one paragraph, record one video, send one message, one thing. That's all I'm asking of you. That's all you should be asking of yourself, because the goal isn't to fix your whole life today. The goal is to break the pattern of being someone who doesn't start, and the only way to break that pattern is to start. And then tomorrow, you do one more thing. Not because you're motivated, not because you're inspired, because you did one yesterday and you're the kind of person who does one. And then the day after that, one more. And that's how it actually works. Not in some cinematic transformation, just one small, unglamorous move a day, stacked on top of the last one, for long enough that one day you look up and you're somewhere new. You don't need more time. You don't need a better plan. You don't need a new routine or a new app or a new version of yourself to show up before you can begin. You already have everything you need. You've had it this whole time. You're just scared. And that's okay. Being scared is fine. Being scared and still doing it is the whole game. Being scared and waiting is how you lose the game without ever playing it. You are going to die. You don't get to know when. And the only question that matters is whether the time you had left got used or whether it got waited through. So stop waiting, stop planning, stop dressing up your avoidance as strategy. You have today, that's it. That's all any of us ever have. Do one thing today. You don't need permission and you don't need to be ready. You just need to start.